Human Rights Radio.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. We are 7 minutes into the 10 o'clock hour. Welcome to Probono Chambers on this Friday morning. My name is Ruth Usman. With me in the studio is Barrister Ebenezer Ekwatu. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Ruth. You have actually perfected the name.
I just realized it was quite easy. I don't even know why I was thinking that it was difficult.
Because I've heard it over and over.
All right. Welcome.
Thank you.
And not forgetting our very own, the one and only, there never will be another Barrister, Uche. Good morning. That's it. Okay, well, that's our in-house Barrister, Uche. You're both welcome on the program today. So, all week it's been about child rights, and we've looked at so many things. And today, if you've been following, you understand that each time Barrister Ebenezer is here, it means we're talking something health related. He seemed to be very passionate about that.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're going in that direction again today, but interestingly with focus on the child. So, are we saying here that one of the rights that sometimes may have been abused by other people is that child's right to good health? Or
Yes.
how can I put it, better?
You are correct. In the sense that there is a specific enactment, the Child Rights Act, targeted towards protecting the child. Do you understand? So, in that respect, if anything is done contrary to the health of that child, it means that the child is being abused.
Okay.
So, that is it. Like I said, there is a specific law. The Child Rights Act was promulgated to protect the child, every aspect of the child's life. Now, if the health aspect of that child is neglected, it's actually a breach of the child's rights. Even though the child might be too tender or too young to enforce that right or seek redress, but then the society, the law, watching, we actually fight for the child.
But why would a child's access to good health be neglected? I mean, let's focus first on the parents, because they are the primary, very closest people to the child that should naturally take care of the child. In what way? How do people abuse that?
A lot of factors
right?
Play. We must not say, okay, the right of the child. It's actually based on all things being equal.
Okay.
Like I have said, and I will say it once again this morning, quality healthcare service is expensive. It means the parent of that child needs money to take good care of the child. So if the parents of such a child is not economically empowered, do you understand?
Okay.
The government does not run free Medicare system, except a few states that could say for children. I know that sometime in Lagos State under Tinubu as the governor, then His Excellency, they had free Medicare for children, they had free Medicare for the aged, and free Medicare for pregnant women. So apart from this instance, there are a few other instances. But generally, children who go to hospital for treatments, their parents need to pay. So when the parent is not financially empowered, it becomes a challenge. I don't want to believe that any parent will derive joy seeing his or her child
sick and not do anything about it. Yeah.
One of the painful experiences any parent will go through is to see his or her child going through a stuff, anything that he or she as a parent will not be able to render assistance. So to that extent, I will less on already parents. But on the converse, there are also parents who are grossly negligent. There are absentee parents. I know in this our era, job, you hop out in the morning, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., you are already in the office. Then some top corporate executives, 10 p.m., you are leaving the office going home. After you close officially by 6, series of meetings and balancing accounts and doing other things, takes you home very late in the night. So they have little or no time to actually take care of this child, check how the child is doing. Most children these days are being raised by nannies and house helps. So these ones are salaried employees rather. They are just working for their pay. So the care and attention they will give to that child will not be as detailed as that of the parents. You understand? So that is it. Then the law, the Child Rights Act 2003, makes a specific provision for the health of the child.
Okay. What does it say?
Section 13 of that act provides that every child is entitled, it's an entitlement to good health and medical services. Now,
so any parent,
then now the subsections begins to assign some responsibilities to parents. In fact, subsection 4 says that it is the responsibility of a parent to immunize the child. Every child is entitled to immunization. Then now says that any parent who fails in immunizing her child or his or her child has committed an offense, and upon conviction will be liable to a fine not less than 5,000 naira or an imprisonment term of not less than 1 month.
I'm just trying to imagine how that can happen in Nigeria. You come to someone's house, Mr. or Mrs. Ruth, you have refused to, take your child to immunization for so amount of time. Is there a particular amount of time that perhaps you would have not done so before you will be arrested, perhaps? Or if you just miss once?
There are different, the immunization are for different ailments. Immunization for different ailments and diseases.
Right from birth, there are different.
So the immunization for polio, the immunization for polio per se, if you miss that one, the one for measles, if you miss that one, do you understand? So it is not about whether you have missed. You don't know the one that could threaten the life of that child. So you will not say, okay, we will not give this child a polio vaccination or immunization.
Okay, is this law, so to speak, for the parents or for parents generally? This part of the Child Rights Act that focuses on their health, is it meant for the parents?
Yes.
Because like I said, they are the ones who are primarily responsible for a lot of things, if not everything, about their children.
Yes.
Now you're talking about parents who are hardly around, they have to go to work and all of that, understandably so. How can they, in what way, what are those other things that they can do that would show that they are actually not paying attention to the health of their children?
Okay, beyond being absent. Well, there are people who, maybe a child is running a temperature. You don't know what the cause. You just conclude, okay, it's teething problem. You are not a medical person. The child cannot talk and say, my tummy is paining me. But because you are the parent, you have concluded because she's running fever at this tender age, it must be teething. Now that's the challenge. You are being careless about it, about your health.
So there's neglect, there is absentee parents.
Yes. Then there are people who may just have the money, but keep procrastinating for whatever reason. There are people who can say, okay, tomorrow, okay, next tomorrow, okay, when I finish this business trip, okay, when I finish this one. Meaning your child's health is not your priority. So that's another challenge. You should prioritize that. I know there are people, especially the employed ones, you may need to seek permission from your office to go to hospital. I will also use this medium to appeal to our corporate, yes, not just the government, but the private sector, who are employers of labor. While you are also driving this way, these people have families. I know you need to make profit, you need to be ahead of your competitors and all that. But you also consider that at the end of the day, the family, the home is the last place that employer will go to. Your employer will not be in the best frame of mind to deliver if his child is sick at home and you couldn't permit him or her to take the child to the hospital. You understand? So that sickness doesn't give notice before it comes.
Sometimes it gives symptoms. By Sauchi.
Okay, well, as much as I would like to align with Vice Benita here on his position about employers giving permission of sorts to their employees to cater for their families, it's also when you also consider that a lot of Nigerians have perfected the act of abusing it. So it's now for us to be sincere, so to say, because I know employees who can lie about anything.
True.
Who can lie with. I died and resurrected last night. You know that. Anyway, that's on the other hand. Now, when you talk about the child's right to health and health services, it's a broad ranged. Apart from the fact that yes, we have the rights of parents to ensure that, amongst other things, to ensure the physical, mental, and spiritual health of the child. So it's not just whether this child is physically fit.
Yeah.
What is he absorbing by way of spiritual matters or something? Because you have parents, okay, like when we were younger, a little younger, that was when I knew that something like that could happen. We were back then in the boarding house. We had this, I don't know, all of a sudden, someone brought in these voodoo books, and a classmate of mine, God being kind to him, he's a medical doctor today, he used to be a very voracious reader, the last I remember of him, and he was reading these books, and he almost, I wasn't so, but rumors spread, he had to leave the boarding house for a period of time. He almost lost it. I don't know how that happened.
He was becoming a wizard.
He was becoming withdrawn. He began to exhibit certain kind of, I don't know how, I can't say exactly.
Something strange was happening.
That is possible. Apart from the fact that yes, we need parents to ensure that their children have access. The Child Rights Act says within the means of the parent, ensure that you shouldn't be negligent about the welfare of your child. But apart from physical health, what is his mental health?
Spiritual.
What is his spiritual health? What is psychologically what is happening to him?
What is the child exposed to?
Exactly.
Yes.
And then we also have parents and guardians who have perfected the act of knowing when the child is pretending. Like the other time I mentioned about a sick child whom the guardian kept saying she was pretending, and then that the girl was having high fevers. The woman kept saying she was pretending. She kept vomiting. The woman kept insisting that she was pretending until the child died. I think she was administering paracetamol and the rest of them until the child died. Very recent, some time ago. Now, these are incidences that are very common. And then we have parents who do not administer the proper immunizations and all of this. To the best of my knowledge, most of these immunizations are free.
They are free.
But parents have just, for one reason or the other, they just think that it's my right to decide what happens to this child. This child is a word of the Nigerian state, so the Nigerian government has a right to also determine.
Perhaps we shouldn't blame all parents at that particular age. Now, for instance, there are new parents, and you may have been hearing about all of these vaccines here and there. What about those in the health sector themselves? Have they done a job of
creating awareness?
Yeah, creating awareness to ensure that these parents actually know exactly, because some of them are of the opinion that perhaps these vaccines may get to a point that it becomes too much in their body. It could be harmful, so they feel it's too much. Now they gave him one. In fact, some of them don't even keep tracks of which ones their children have received and the ones they've not. So they're like, but they gave him one yesterday now, and it was like this and like that, So that awareness. So how much information are they exposed
to? Apart from the information and the role of the health sector and all of that, one thing we have always done, especially in this part of the world, is that everybody who has ever given birth or witnessed birthing is is a consultant by nature. So you have it. It happened in 1950 to one of my cousins. So that is for the child to be exhibiting these symptoms. That is what is happening. And then you have elderly women who have decided that they are
the closest people. Before you start going to a hospital, you just have to ask Mama, this person, how did you handle this situation?
Wrong.
The society has evolved. This is 2018. We're not in 1947. There is the internet. I mean, information is free of charge now. All you need is get data.
Internet is still expensive to some extent.
Do you understand? One, what I mean by that is there is knowledge everywhere. You do not have to spend as much as you would have spent in the days of our forefathers to get the right knowledge now. So what is important is there are people who just believe they know it. Then there is the role of superstition. You know, in this our climb, we do not question things. We just love already made answers. We don't ask why. This thing is supposed to be here, leave it like this. We don't ask, why should it be here? We don't challenge existing order to just get conviction. So we are like, okay, this is how it has been done, this is how it should be done. So it is wrong. We live on assumptions in this our climb a lot. Like I said earlier, a child is running fever, the parent just assumes he's teething problem. So go and get teething powder or whatever and give the person. But this child cannot talk, and you are also not a professional. So the most reasonable thing to do is to get the attention of a professional. Take this child to hospital, let them examine the child. Sometimes, even as adults, you could have a fever and they say it's malaria. Your neighbor say, you're not typhoid, look it up. Then you now start self-medication without knowing that the fever you're having is just a symptom. It could be any other thing. So the best approach for me is go and run a test. There are missionary hospitals around. Their prices are relatively cheaper than the conventional, maybe government or private hospitals. If you look around for help, if you are serious, you will just ask questions, you will get the right place to go to and take care of that child.
Okay, let's break at this point to run some commercials. We'll be right back. Stay with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
Welcome, my dear friends.
Human Rights Radio. Your 100% effort is not good enough.
You know.
Give me 101.1 effort.
Aha! Kéku ló gbọ́ kó yá àwífún toko. Kánò gbọ́ kóró fún ọbẹ̀ pé ìjọba olú ìlú yìí fi àsìkò ìran gbogbo olùgbé ìlú yìí ní etí o pé ìjọba kò fi àyè gba àwọn ọkọ̀ tí kò dára kẹ̀kẹ́ nàpẹ́ẹ̀bù ọ̀kadà alùpùpù àti àwọn ọmọbìnrin tí ń ṣiṣẹ́ gbélépawó ìyẹn àwọn aṣẹ́wó nínú ìlú Àbújá o. Mọ́ gbàgbé pé àwọn amúnisínkùn ìjọba ń bẹ láàrin ìlú bí ọwọ́ wọn bá bà ọ́ ajẹ́pọ̀ orugi oyin nìyẹn o. Káwí fún ni ká gbọ́ ìlú yọmọ adarí hunrun ṣèbí ká sọ̀rọ̀ fún ni ká gbà ní yọmọ ẹ̀dá èèyàn gbọ́ ohun tí ìjọba olú ìlú yìí ń sọ fún gbogbo wa kí ìlú Àbújá kí ó lè dùn ún wò kí ó lè dùn ún gbé fún gbogbo wa dídára olú ìlú yìí àjọṣe wa ni o jẹ́ kí èmi àti ẹ jẹ́ olùgbé rere.
eji ohere a echetara ndị bi isi obodo anyị bụ Abuja mkpa ọ dị idobe iwu tụmadụ ka o si gbasata okporo ụzọ n'ebe obibi na-ezighị ezi. Biko mara na enyela otu task force nke minista hibere ikike ịhụ na iwu nke mechibidoro adịgboroja ụgbọala ọbụla eji arachapịọm pụtara ihe. Ha ga-ahụkwa na akwụsịrị kpamkpam iji ọgbatumtum maọbụ ị na-aga ebugharị ndị mmadụ n'isi obodo anyị bụ Abuja. Otu a ga-ahụkwa na ha gbochiri ndị keke ma mawapụtakwara ha ebe ha ga na-agba na mpaghara isi obodo anyị. Ha ga-ekpochapụkwa ndị akwụna na ụmụ mmekpa ahụ ndị ọzọ dịka ịtụ mgbere mmadụ, ire ọgwụ ike nakwa iwepụ ma kurie ebe obibi ọbụla na-ezighị ezi. Otu a ga-ahụ na ewepụrụ ọdụ ụgbọala na-ekwesịghị ekwesị n'isi obodo anyị. Biko ka anyị jikọọ n'aka ọnụ wulite FCT ka ọ dị ka anyị si chọọ ya. Ndị aka ga-akpara dara iwu ndị a ga-eji anya ha hụ ntị ha bụrụ ezi nwa amaala dobe iwu ala anyị.
Ana sanar da dukkanin al'ummar birnin tarayya Abuja da ku kasance masu bin dokoki sawu da kafa musamman ma ta fuskar dokokin hanyoyi da na kafa guraren kwana ba bisa ka'ida ba a birnin tarayya Abuja. A kuma sani cewa har yanzu dokan nan ta hana amfani da tsofaffin motoci a matsayin taxi. Haka zalika kananan motocin bus da kwasta tare da hana sana'ar acaba a cikin birnin tarayya Abuja. A kuma tabbatar da cewa an bi dokar sana'ar acaba a guraren da doka ta amince tare da tabbatar da bin dokar hana karuwanci da yawon banza a birnin tarayya da sauran laifuka kamar tu'amali da miyagun kwayoyi, kafa tashoshin motoci ba bisa ka'ida ba da dai sauran laifuka iri daban-daban. Hakika duk wanda aka kama ya karya doka za a hukunta shi. Mu haɗa hannu domin gina birnin tarayya Abuja a matsayin abin alfaharinmu.
As the rainy season begins, the general public is hereby advised to avoid environmental practices that could cause flooding. Indiscriminate waste disposal has remained a major factor causing flooding in the FCT. Do not throw your garbage into gutters and drainages along waterways. Residents are also advised to avoid building houses around natural waterways, as this could also lead to loss of lives and property during the rainy season.
Do the right thing. This message is from the Federal Capital Territory, FCTA.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti mọ̀ wípé àsìkò òjò la wà, èyí ni láti sọ fún gbogbo ènìyàn láti yàgò fún ìwà ìdọ̀tí, dídà ìdọ̀tí síbi tí ò bójúmu tí ó lè fa omíyalé, àgbàrá ya ṣọ́ọ̀bù. Dídà ìdọ̀tí síbi tí ò bójúmu tàbí òpópónà sì jẹ́ ohun kan gbòógì tí ó ń ṣokùnfà omíyalé, àgbàrá ya ṣọ́ọ̀bù ní ìlú Àbújá. Ẹ má ṣe da ìdọ̀tí sínú gọ́tà tàbí ọ̀nà tí ìjọba ti pèsè sílẹ̀ fún omi láti gbà kọjá. A tún fi àsìkò yìí sọ fún gbogbo olùgbé FCT Àbújá láti rí dájú wípé wọn ò kọ́ ilé sí ọ̀nà tí omi ń gbà kọjá. Èyí lè ṣe okùnfà pípàdánù ọ̀gọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀mí tàbí pípàdánù ohun ìní ní àsìkò òjò. Ẹ ṣe ohun tó tọ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àjọ FCTA, Federal Capital Territory Administration.
A yayin da damuna ta fara kankama, an shawarci al'umma da su guji bata muhalli wanda ke iya jawo ambaliya. Zub da shara ba kan gado shine makasudin babbar ambaliya a birnin tarayya Abuja. Saboda haka kar ku zub da sharar ku a magudanan ruwa. Bugu da ƙari, an shawarci al'umma da su kiyaye yin gine-ginen gidaje a hanyoyin ruwa, wanda yin haka kan iya jawo rusan da zai laƙume rayukan al'umma da dukiyoyinsu a lokacin damuna. A koda yaushe ku kasance mai yin abin da yake daidai. Wannan sako na zo muku ne daga hukumar birnin tarayya FCTA.
Wani ya samu wani yana
udu mmiri ebidola, a na-adọ ọhaneze aka na ntị ka ha gbochie ma kwụsị akparamagwa ga-ebute mmiri ọdụdọ na mbuze dịka iwufu ahịhịa n'ime mmiri na-asọ asọ ya na ịtụnye ihe n'ime gota. A na-emekwa ka ị mara na iwu ụlọ n'ebe na-ekwesịghị dịka ụzọ mmiri nwere ike ịkpata ịtụfu ndụ ndị mmadụ n'efu ya na ihe nweta ndị mmadụ ịla n'iyi. Mee ihe kwesịrị dị mma. Ọ bụ Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA na-ezitara gị ozi a.
Awidna akugna aza vien kinsin nege tuntun aza mbatun aya una vidan kuluna kobege baba bola atela chebaje ukinsin ne unkoyin tinya kola ka hae baba tuntun kola pojin nara kan vien ba lo mutna ukinsin ne ozana wa sasatu vidan kulu wotna aba wa api aga otata agna kinsin da mbasasalo ge balaweka na zaipia da na azalaba sasalokin zinege balawepi na ja zaipia bakara na bana banwa ba tabashiba agaba tata na wode ya mi ekinzin na ko na ba agwa abeji I would never back me no city here atutun jina pokoge Federal Capital Territory Administration.
Èyí ni láti kéde pé ojúṣe àwọn sagolo sapáànù tí a mọ̀ sí Bàbáńbòlà ti dó nílùú Àbújá àti ìjọba àbílẹ̀ mẹ́fẹ̀ẹ̀fà bí ọwọ́ sìnkú àwọn agbófinró bá wá bá ẹnikẹ́ni nínú wọn yóò fi ojú ba ilé ẹjọ́ o. Ẹ̀yin olùgbé Àbújá ẹ yára tètè tẹ́tí lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tẹ́ ẹ bá rí ẹnikẹ́ni tí ń yọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀dà tí kò tẹ̀lé òfin tó sì ń sagolo tí ń sapáànù ẹ tètè fi tó àwọn agbófinró létí àjọṣe wa ni o láti mú kí olú ìlú yìí dùn ún wò kí ó sì dùn ún gbé pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn. Ìkéde yìí wá láti iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba olú ìlú yìí ìyẹn Federal Capital Territory Administration.
This is to inform the general public that the activities of scavengers, also known as Babambola, is prohibited within the Federal Capital City. Their activities are henceforth restricted to the area councils. Residents of the Federal Capital City are advised to be vigilant and report any suspicious activities to law enforcement agencies. Together, we can make Abuja the city of our dreams.
Making the world a better place every day. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Join our diverse team of legal experts as we provide education and guidance to you, our listeners, on a broad array of issues raised by the modern legal landscape, absolutely free on Probono Chambers, airing on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
All right, we are back and Probono Chambers continues. Today we're looking at right of the child to health and health services. I have barristers Ebenezer and Uche right here in the studio talking to us about, basically, according to Barrister Ebenezer, he says it's more of creating awareness for so many people to know the provisions of the law and know that they can actually do something, make a difference, improve the quality of health being given to their children. You also mentioned something while we were on break about discrimination.
Yes, there could be cases of such. We are saying that the children are equal. It's part of their rights because no child should be discriminated against based on the circumstances of his or her birth. So it will be a breach of the child's rights when a healthcare provider begins to pay more attention to the child of the rich over the child of the poor. When two of them are in the same hospital, or you feel, okay, because these particular parents will maybe appreciate you with cash when you are done with your services, you totally neglect the child of the poor man. So what I'm saying here is, those two children, they have equal rights before the law. So whenever they come before you for treatment, give them equal attention, depending on the nature of each person's ailment. Just give the person, the child, the treatment that is required. So let there be no form of discrimination. That is one. I also mentioned the issue of keeping drugs out of the reach of children. Beyond, there are two health cares. There's the preventive care, there's the corrective care. I think we should emphasize more on preventive. Keep the environment clean. Because if the child, and be observant, children are susceptible to, they are prone to putting things in their mouth. So any small thing, the hand is going to the mouth. Keep the environment clean. Once you do this, you are already enforcing the rights of the child. You are even preventing the child from getting ill in the first place. I think that is more important. You are preventing the child from getting sick in the first place. Then keep drugs out of their reach, because once they pick it, it's in their mouth and the child falls sick. So what I'm saying in essence is, parents should be more careful. Beyond when the child falls sick, you take the child to the hospital. Pay more attention to even preventing the child from getting sick by reason of your carelessness.
How many people still have first aid kits in their homes now? While growing up, I know we used to have. Somehow, at what point, it became scanty at a point though. There was almost nothing.
Then, along the line of what we said while we were on break, I remember I talked about the mental health of the children. A child is defined here as anybody who is below the age of 18. So it means that our teenagers are covered. This discussion.
This act covers,
and
yeah.
The problem I have with them is the issue of law. It gives me a lot of concern. So talking about the mental health now, we have shifted from physical health. The mental health of the child. Parents should try not to be violent towards the child. Talk to the child with love, even when correcting, even when there is need to discipline the child. Don't cane the child as if you are paid to just kill the child. Yes, it's discipline, but there's a way you beat a child. It affects the child's psyche. You are living in the same house with the child. Yes, the society knows you are the child's parent, but the child sees you as an enemy. So what the child is doing is, the child is just praying, let me grow up and leave this house. When you see children exhibiting certain characters, it's actually a product of, it's actually a kind of rebellion. They may not confront you physically, but they can confront you with their attitude. They keep doing the same thing. It is deliberate. Their mental health has been affected. They may not, here we don't pay attention to mental health in Nigeria generally. It's only one person, a medical doctor that I know, that has told me that she feels she has a problem. And she said it professionally. I said, you could say this because you are a professional. So I told her, okay, so you know what to do. You are
How did she say it?
She said she has a mental problem.
How would you know? What kind of problem? Did you get to understand? Because
when we talk about mental problem here in Nigeria, we talk about
madness. And
you understand?
Yeah.
But the
I know it's
of
not
the
always
mind.
madness. Yeah.
Do you understand? So that's the issue. Parents should look into that. A lot of our teenagers are on drugs.
So some parents, once you are, I think from like 13, and depending on your body size and all that, is like they've already considered you as an adult.
They can send you on errand, you go get this, go get this.
And they really pay little or no attention to that.
They no longer pay attention, and okay, they check your academics, you are doing well, okay, it's a good child. Because when they go out in the morning, they don't know what happens. When they come back, you are already asleep. They don't know your circle of friends, the influences. So,
based on this law now, on what parameter will a parent be judged, so to say, as to know for sure that this person is violating the rights of his or her children, so that the right amount of punishment or whatever form of correction will be given such parents? How is this done? Or how should it be done? No. You just said, okay, one other thing you said while we were on break is that Nigeria has like one of the best, or you said the best in the world, but on paper.
Our laws are the best in the world, on paper.
But on paper. So if we were
the challenge is implementation.
If we were to implement this now.
Part of the provisions, section 5 or subsection 5 of section 13 says that anybody who contravenes the provision of section 4. Section 4 talks about parents immunizing their children. Now, subsection 5 says anybody who contravenes that provision of subsection 4 has committed an offense, and if found liable, should be fined, pay a fine of not more than 5,000 naira, or an imprisonment term of not more than 1 month. How many parents know this? To start with. Now, we will know this, or people will become more sensitized if a parent has been taken to court, charged for not immunizing her child or his child, then actually made to be paid to.
So, in your experience, you've never heard of any parent who has been?
I have not on this, because to us it's trivial. Do you understand? Even if when that happens, it's not 5,000, but take your 5,000 and go home.
Okay, so maybe we should increase the money.
I'm saying, if something like this happens, then let the media give it serious coverage. It's not about the money. It's not about the fine. It's about sending a signal that the Nigerian government takes the lives of its citizenry very seriously. That's the message you are sending. that you don't treat a Nigerian child anyhow. So when parent A goes through this experience, parent B will buckle up. There are cases where these immunizing agents come around and people just hide their children. I have witnessed that. Some will say, no, we don't want.
There's no child here.
There's no child in this compound. I've witnessed that. So you are actually gradually killing that child, and you are abusing the child's right to health. So number one, the parent needs to know that if I'm doing this, one, it is an offense. Two, it is the life of the child that is being endangered. So when they are sensitized, I believe there will nobody, no parent I have said, would want to see his or her child die. But these things are done mostly out of ignorance. So the government needs to up its game by doing more sensitization, especially in the rural communities. Okay, we are here. Okay, what about the people in rural areas? So that's it.
Okay, so we'll open up the phone line at this point if you have questions, any contributions. As always, Pro Bono Chambers offers you the opportunity to get to interact with the barristers. So if you have any questions, even if it doesn't concern our focus for this morning, feel free to call in and share those thoughts with us. The barristers will be happy to answer your questions. The number to call is 081-8999-1011. That's 081-8999-1011. Don't forget, it's Pro Bono Chambers on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Please remember to turn off your radio when you do call in, so we can have some clarity and we get to hear you properly. So let the calls come in and let's hear your questions or other contributions on the program. 081-8999-1011. Hello? Oops. Lost that one there. But you can quickly call back. Hope we have a clear connection when you do. 081-8999-1011. Hello? Please turn off your radio.
Okay.
Morning, what's your name?
My name is Francis Audi. I'm calling you from the Central area.
All right, Francis, we're listening.
Yes. I have nothing much to say, but what I have to say is about what he said, that there are some area that he witnessed that when you want to like encourage some children like that, and they will hide up some children. In my village, there are some places that I witnessed, like there's this quack doctors or nurses, I don't know how to call them, that they bring. There are some people that they inject them. I am telling you, even till now, like this, at the point of that injection, the affection of that thing is still in their body. They suffer a lot from those things. So our parents back then, there are some kind of thing that they experience. That is why you see, when it comes like that, they keep hiding their children like that. So me, I witnessed how they inject people in the wrong position in the body, and it will result to wounds and some other things like that. Me, I witnessed that thing.
All right, thank you for sharing that with us.
So that is one of the reasons.
All right, Francis, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Before he goes,
Okay, hello?
Hello, Francis.
Oh, he's ended the call.
Well, I would have said this is dangerous. It's a serious issue. The attention of the Medical and Dental Council needs to be drawn to this.
So it's not just to employ anybody that is that's jobless and say, okay, come, there's this exercise, we need you to come and carry out this, and they don't know the first things about using a syringe
in the rural areas.
Yeah. And so imagine really how you feel. Someone has been crippled because they came to administer something they were not able to.
Healthcare practitioners, the only experience they have as to administering healthcare is that, okay, I worked with somebody, I was a sales girl in a shop, in a pharmacy, in somewhere in
No, it's chemists. They call it chemists. Those ones.
Chemists. And then they just come, and then like in the villages, for instance, you just come back from the farm, you're feeling somehow, you just go there, please mix medicine for me, something like that.
And they mix
the
it
person
sharply.
just gives you a concoction of salts, and you pay 13 naira, and that is
yeah.
That's
and they start calling him doctor. Yeah, it's just doctor. It's when you see him and have a conversation, you're like, okay, and this person.
He begins to, and then he begins to take up from there. Confidence has been reposed.
He turns to a midwife.
He's a midwife. He's a surgeon. He's everything. He tears anybody open. He does anything. Children, adults alike.
Wow.
And that is all these people are able to access.
Yeah. Please turn off your radio.
Hello, morning.
Morning to you. Welcome.
Thank you. This is Michael calling from Pekin.
All right, Michael, we're listening.
Yes, I think one of the things I want to say is that if a law is made and then those who are supposed to enforce that law are not enforcing it, where is the place of law that can be able to punish those who refuse to enforce the law? And after if the law enforcement agency prepared to do that, is there anywhere in the law that they can be able to face maybe prosecution for not abiding by the law, enforcing that the law. And that is what I want the lawyer there to explain to us.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Michael, your question is what I have raised during the break. We must be our neighbors' keepers. We must watch out. You see, the law enforcement agents, they do not live in your compound. They might live in your community. The judge is not omnipresent. The police IG is not omnipresent. These people work based on information. So it is when you report. But the challenge we have is, it's not my business. 1. 2, you can say it's not my child, it's his or her child. But that child is a Nigerian. So if you see something wrong, report it. By reporting, you have done your own part. Then when you report, you do a kind of follow-up. Okay, assuming your neighbor is not taking care of, but not taking proper care of his or her child, you could walk up to the police station and make a report.
No, but what he is saying is about the law. Is there any other organization, so to speak, that would say, okay, this particular agency was supposed to focus on implementing this law, but they have failed to do that? Maybe it was about creating awareness and they have not done that. Is there any other agency that would come and perhaps force them to do that, or even make them face the penalty for failing to implement that?
The police has always been one of the law enforcement agents we have in Nigeria. Now, the law says a parent who fails to do this have committed a crime. So when you are reporting to the police station, what we know as crime is maybe fraud, maybe armed robbery, maybe, do you understand, the ones we call big crimes, maybe murder. But the law says that the person committed an offense. For failing to immunize your child, it's an offense. You walk up to the police station, madam or officer, this is what I witnessed in my compound. It's an offense. When you do that, it is now the job of the police officers to investigate. Madam, this is the report we have received against you. Okay, why did you do this? What happened? They hear the person's side of the story. But the challenge is, unfortunately, that you do not know the existence of these laws. That's where awareness comes in. You cannot say it enough. You have to say it, and maybe set 1 or 2 examples with people until it sinks. The media has a role to play here. If one person is convicted, let them blow it. You mean a woman was sent to jail for not immunizing her child? Every mother will be interested.
Okay. Let's see who's here. Hello?
Good morning.
Morning. Welcome to the program. What's your name?
It's still found the man you asked me to come today, so I'm outside of the gate now.
Oh, you were supposed to drop your papers. Okay. I'm not sure you got the information correctly. Yeah, because I am not the one handling that program, and so you were supposed to drop your papers and talk to those people you had met there at the gates, really. And right now, I am on air.
Joshua said you asked me to give you the distance, so Joshua to give you.
Okay, I guess you're going to have to call another time because right now this is a different program. All right? Okay. When you have any complaints, please, it's basically for the Brekete family program. So that's all you can do. If you're coming here, it means you're coming to drop your complaints. I'm not in that department, so to speak. Hello? Please turn off your radio. Okay, I lost that call there. But you can call quickly 081-8999-1011. Hello? Morning, how are you? Welcome, Jamil.
Well, this is an interesting topic to discuss. Where it's starting to have a quantity just all over the place. You see, we as the people, we have our own responsibility to play. We have our own role to play. Because when you do something, you have to say something. This is a project that all of us have to put our hands together to build the country. You cannot just for example, someone has a chemist maybe around, and when you check in, you see a little boy at the age of 10, 11, 12 selling drugs. What does that person know about drugs? That is issue. And when someone will just go and say, give me drug of so much, and that will just go and pick it and give you the rate. Even knowing if the institution has to take it or something like that, or sometimes that person will even give you the wrong drug. And I'm coming on the government, because in as much as we the people have the road to play, the government needs to put a legislation in place to enforce the law that whenever anyone is buying a drug, please bring a prescription along with you. And the prescription the government needs to let do something that okay, you can just go straight to any government or any hospital. Okay, this is what's wrong with you, doctor. Without even testing, once you just lay your complaint, so maybe write a prescription for you and a free, let's say, without even you pay. Okay, you have to take it. That is all. Do you get me? That's how we're supposed to administer. But all in all, I was very careful on the way we take drugs, because they might be harmful, and because not everything is bad.
Okay. All right, Jamil, thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jamil. And Michael that called earlier, if you're still listening, you talked about quack doctors in your vicinity. I think
it was a different person.
Yeah. Just go and report to the police station. If you can call back after this program, call Ruth. If you can, if there's any number he can reach you.
No, he will not be able to reach me.
Okay. Because I would have said I would have given my number, but I'm on air. If I tried that, I've done it before and it wasn't funny. So we could get the medical and dental council involved.
Okay.
We could talk to the...
Yeah, but now in his own capacity, he can report.
In his capacity, we don't know his community. In his capacity, report to the police station, report to your chief. Your chief might not be aware.
Should even,
the chief of your community might not even be aware that something like that is going on.
No, he's supposed to know. When people are going around saying that it was these doctors that came the other day.
He knows because he's literate, he's enlightened. That's why he could differentiate the quack from the real. It's not everybody that can do that. And we don't know where his community is. So, but he should start with reporting to the authorities in his community. Our chief, this is what I've noticed. This is the implication for our community and our children. So
that subsequently, even when the real ones come, they don't want to present their children because they're scared.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's about what we can take for now or for today on the program. Barsochi is there. Eddie, she's giving me a big smile. Okay, so that's the much we have on the program today, Probono Chambers. It's been interesting. Many thanks to those who were able to call in, and of course to our special guest, Barrister Ebenezer. We appreciate your presence. All right then. So thank you to our listener once again. We will make a return, God willing, on Monday in the same 10 o'clock hour, where we bring you Probono Chambers to bring you more enlightenment, to know things about the law, where you stand, knowing your left from your right, literally. My name is Ruth Usman. In the 11 o'clock hour, it will be time for children, women, and society. Women, children, and society. What a twist. All right, then do stay with us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
This is your magazine.